Hey, good evening. Welcome to the Whistle Podcast with Coach Bowman and Coach Brett. We got a good show for you tonight. Um, right now, we waiting for people to come in right now. Actually, we got some people waiting to come in right now. Could have been on this a long time ago, but here we go. Hold on for a minute. Coach Brett.
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
Waiting on a couple people to come through. So how's your day today, Coach?
All good, man. All good. Long day today. Long day. Got a lot of things done today.
Yes, sir.
Getting ready. Getting ready for our episode here. Hopefully, we have a good one.
Yeah, that was some technical difficulties, but it's all in the game. It's all in the game. Yeah, waiting on Mr. Jones right now. Uh, I seen him I seen him. He sent me a screenshot of him sitting in the green room, trying to figure out why game one.
We got
Yeah.
Kevin jumping on.
I gotta get him. You'll probably be seeing him in a little bit. He'll slide in. He'll slide in. Um,
Good deal. Good deal. You want to tell some? You want to let them know who we got coming on?
yeah, I let him know. Well, you know, the previous I let him know, but you know, he won't have to put that. But yeah, I'm hitting him up right now.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah. So, but I've been hearing a lot of stuff on YouTube about a lot of the NBA guys having their podcasts, like Gil's Arena. That's pretty much kind of the hottest podcast out right for talking the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just sitting there listening to what his name, Kenya Martin, talking about how now he was. I mean, what you thought about his game and how you handled yourself on the court because he was on. He basically talking about how David Stern pretty much told him because he was doing a lot of fighting. And I'm trying to figure out. I know I looked at a lot of the NBA game, a lot of the games, and I did pretty much miss the part when he was there around that time when I was overseas. I didn't really watch a lot of the NBA then because a lot of stuff was kind of like pre-taped or whatever, or
Right.
because of the fact that is the time difference. So whenever I'm asleep, then it's light over here. That type of thing. Um, was he? Oh, besides the clips of showing him being physical and fighting, was he that person
I don't
uh,
know.
that he was feared like that?
I don't know so much about the fighting. I mean, he was definitely in your face physical. He reminded me a lot of him and Rasheed Wallace are pretty similar to each other.
Okay,
Um, those guys, uh, I would take them on my team.
okay,
They were
yeah,
dogs. I mean,
yeah,
they didn't back down from anybody. I can tell you that. You know,
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, like I said, we come from that era, so that never bothered me. We were kind of, I feel like we were kind of used to that. You
yeah.
know,
Okay.
so you needed somebody that would get down and get dirty and get in your face. and not let you just do what you wanted to do,
Yeah.
Now, did he maybe take it to the next level with his mouth and his actions? Yeah, there were some times where both him and Rasheed Wallace, could have toned it down a little bit, but they kind of just let people know that they were there, and you're not going to just walk right in here. So that's my opinion. Now, as far as the instigating of the fights and all, I really can't kind of recall him getting into any scraps that I know of. He may have. Obviously, if David Stern was coming to him and talking to him, or they were talking to the teams that he was playing on, So the commissioner, I heard many stories where they were coming in kind of trying to control these guys to some degree. They did that with Allen Iverson, I think, too. So,
yeah. What up, Kev?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just sitting here speaking on about how Kenyon Martin was saying how he was pretty much an enforcer. So I was trying to get some output from Mr. Brett here, like what it was. I mean, he was like my favorite player out of college, one of my favorite players out of college. But, he definitely was a monster. I think when he got hurt, that kind of slowed down his aggressiveness. Well, for his well, I put it like this, it brought down a notch of his playing ability for that. But he was everywhere. I mean, block shots, anything down there. He was a true rim protector, and then he'll put it on your head too. So
right.
yeah, he was that senior year. He really took over the senior year. It was, but
I
yeah, I'm
mean,
trying to
Gerald,
get Mr. Jones on right now.
for me, if you guys really want to sit here and think about it, who do we have right now that was like Kenyon Martin, Rasheed Wallace? I mean, tell me somebody. But like I said, the game is different today.
The game is the game is more European.
Right.
You don't have back to the basket type players no more. Now the game is the big man, which is the five. He need to shoot the ball. He need to handle the ball, kind of like a Jokic.
Yep.
Now you got more big men that are playing on the outside on the perimeter, like Jokic, Embiid, Chet Holmgren, Draymond Green, them type guys. So now as a big man, you have to shoot the ball. You have to be able to handle the ball the same way. The big man have to play in Europe in the European leagues.
That's true. Yeah.
So,
well, here's a question that I would ask you guys, and I'd ask the audience, that watch this. Which era would you rather take? Would you rather take a Rasheed Wallace or a Kenyon Martin or Antonio McDyess? Or would you rather go with Embiid? I mean, which way? What do you guys think about that?
I think Rasheed Wallace could play in both eras.
I agree.
Because Rasheed Wallace could play outside, he could play inside.
And
see,
I see.
If you need him to get in there and bang, he could bang too.
I see the other side with this era on the offensive side, but I don't see the same on the defensive side. Yeah. I don't see anybody like. I mean, really, name somebody other than. I mean, Draymond Green is maybe the closest, but they always say that he plays dirty. But I don't see a Rasheed Wallace. I don't see Kenyon Martin.
I think the closest thing, it's not gonna be. There's no Kenyon Martins, but I think the closest thing to Rasheed Wallace that could be, better than Rasheed Wallace, that will be better than Rasheed Wallace is on Victor Wembanyama.
Right.
He rookie year he led the league in blocks, almost 5 a game.
Right.
And almost won defensive player of the year in his first year. as a rookie. That's kind of unheard of.
Yeah, and then I mean, as far as I thought at one time Embiid could be both ways, but he seems to now. I mean, I don't see him go as hard as maybe he used to when he first got in on the defensive side.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, then you also have to look at his own.
He hasn't been as healthy either, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another reason.
Exactly.
He hasn't been as healthy, and I think that's another question that plays in the part today's game is these guys maybe not being as healthy, so they can't go as hard on the defensive side. You know, I think
and it's conditioning. It's a conditioning part of it too.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have any, because it's based on depth. You know, Philly hasn't had depth at the center position the past couple of years. I see they just got back Drummond, but Drummond's like, you know, he's very productive. He's a great rebounder. He's one of the best rebounding big men in the game.
Yeah, he's big. Yeah.
But he's knowing Joel Embiid when he's in the game. You know, he can't shoot from outside.
Right.
You know, he's not a great passer like Embiid.
He doesn't move the needle very much when he's in the game. Other than the rebound part, you know. He's another one. I mean, well, at one time I think Drummond was getting double-doubles for a little while.
Yeah, when he was with Detroit. He was with Detroit because, you know, it was all about the system.
Right.
And then he had decent players around him.
Right.
But I think when he had that injury, that kind of set him back from taking that next step.
That's true.
And you know, he never kind of got back to that full potential. So I think with him, you know, now he's like a guy you bring off the bench. You know, you could put him in the starting lineup here and there, but he's not a guy that can, when the Embiid go out the game, he can keep the offense going. That's why they went out and got Paul George.
True.
You know, if Paul George could stay healthy and Embiid could stay healthy, that should get him. That should get him top 3 in the East. Definitely top 3 in the East. Easy. Top 3 in the East, easy. And should with a healthy lineup, it should get him to the finals. They should be playing the NBA finals. If healthy.
We lost Jay there.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's not hitting more buttons.
Yeah, like I don't hear you, bro. Hey.
Yeah, Gerald, me and Brett was talking today about you know, the difference between an organized basketball player and the difference between a money tournament type player. And I was telling Brett that it's 2 different atmospheres because, you know, you playing organized basketball, you know, the refs is kind of like it's a clean game. It may get rough at certain times, but you know, it's like a controlled game. As in a money tournament, the refs they trying to get the game over quicker. So they letting a lot of calls go. You're not gonna get the same calls you get in a money tournament that you're gonna get in a college game or a pro game. You're not gonna get the type of calls. And then in the money tournament, guys are playing more physical, they're playing harder, and the room for error is very slim.
Yeah,
the error of making mistakes is very slim because, you know, you only got 2 losses and you're out. So the sense of urgency is you know, a high priority.
Yeah, that's what makes That's what make the possessions, like you're saying, basically saying, is making those possessions. Each possession got to count.
Yeah,
Uh,
possession got to count, and if possessions don't count on the offensive end, you got to get some stops on the defensive end.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, you gotta be sound to stop the person in front of you.
yeah.
So you got to play both ways. In money tournaments, you got to play both ways. It's
Then
no,
when
it's
you,
no, it's no ifs, ands, or buts.
I think
Cause
there's
no
some.
tomorrow. It's no tomorrow.
I think there's something to say about when you guys bring in some college guys, and then you got some guys off the street. Now I've seen plenty of people off the street that I think definitely go at college guys.
Yeah,
That's a no brainer there.
yeah,
Uh,
cause
Go
yeah, cause
ahead.
Brett, yeah, cause Brett, spin off what you're saying. Just because a guy come off the street, don't think that they don't know the game.
No, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
no doubt, no doubt.
yeah, cause on the piggyback off what you were saying, on one of the greatest, I mean, one of the best street ball players that have gone on to play college ball, that played pro ball, that was on the N1 mixtape tour is Magic Dorsey.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's one of the best guards to do it. As far as the transition from the street ball game to the college game to the pro game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he has played in past money tournaments, have won quite a few money tournaments. Because with the ball in his hand, he's gonna make the right decision at the right times. You 99, I'm 99% sure of that. And I have probably like just about everybody that knows him knows that, in his heyday, really right now, he still can do some of the same things he could do in his heyday,
Yeah.
even at his age right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because he takes the game of basketball 100% serious.
Right.
His training regimen, his dieting, his training, his conditioning. He takes the game serious. And I see how the way he trains the younger kids, he trains them the same way he trains. And that's
Mm-hmm.
how the way it should be done. You want to train the youth the same way you was being trained, the right way.
Exactly. I agree. I agree. Yeah, I remember Magic came through. This was years ago. When he was a young buck, over there in Brevard County. We were at an AAU tournament, and for some reason he came down. I can't remember what he came through for, because he was a little bit older then. He wasn't. He was too old to play AAU, but he was in the gym that day over there in that area. I think he may have lived in Brevard County for a little while. I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm not
yeah.
exactly.
He went to Brevard Community College.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He
Mm-hmm.
went to Brevard Community College, and
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yep.
Nino took him. I think Nino, Nino, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah, Nino took him up under his wings and got him over there on Brevard Community College.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Okay.
If you know Nino, man, you
Mm-hmm.
can't go through Brevard County and not know who Nino is.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I remember Nino back in the day when we had Mark and Torn play for us for Team Florida. So,
yeah.
oh, yeah.
He's
Yes,
still
sir.
he's still training right now. I think he's doing something at a little private school up there. But
Holy
he's still
Trinity. Who are you talking about? Magic or Nino?
Nino.
Yeah, he's at Holy Trinity, I think,
Yeah, yeah,
in Melbourne,
yeah.
Florida.
Right.
He was doing some stuff with the girls' side of it. I don't know if he's still at the school. He's either he's assisting with the boys coach who's been there a long time. He's been there a while at Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
But I know that last time Gerald had talked to him, at one time he was helping on the girls' side too. They needed a coach. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been around a long time in Brevard County for sure. He's one of the goats in that area. So,
All right.
what's going on with Jay here? We lost him again. He's trying to get a hold of I don't know exactly who we're getting on here, but I'm waiting to see. But getting back to what, go ahead.
I know earlier he said Homer.
No, I think Homer had to reschedule.
Okay.
From what I'm hearing, that's what took so long for us to get on. We kept waiting, and so we had to. So yeah, get back to what we were talking about earlier there about the game with Kenyon Martin, and you can think of some other guys maybe that were similar to those guys. Rasheed Wallace, you got Ben Wallace.
Yeah, now there's no more, definitely no more Kenyon Martins, and there's definitely no more Ben Wallaces.
No,
because they don't like now they don't since the time went on, Kenyon Martin went upside on Karl Malone head going to the hole, and the situation, the fight between him and T-Mac. Kenyon tell you straight up, after that situation with him and T-Mac, Stern gave him a call and told him, if you want to stay in the league, you better change your ways.
You got to tone it down. Yeah.
Yeah. And then from that day on, he had to go back to the old Kenyon Martin. And then, the situation we had with Ben Wallace, the Malice in the Palace, that situation, he was just, standing up to Artest, and Artest was the one that escalated the whole situation what went on in the stands.
Right.
That just wasn't Ben Wallace, but they put Ben Wallace in there.
Yeah, that was a situation where the way he did that, if you think about it, he didn't want that smoke. He felt he didn't want that smoke from Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ron Artest wasn't gonna run up on Ben Wallace the way he ran up on those people in the stands, those guests in the stands.
Yeah, that's true.
Ben Wallace like one of the most feared persons.
I didn't see too many people running at Ben Wallace.
Right. Yeah, and he let it be known.
Yeah.
So other words, basically, right? What y'all saying is the game that went soft.
Yeah, the game that went soft is no credit to the no way to badmouth the European game, but the NBA want to see high scoring games. They want to see games like 130 to 125.
Right.
They don't want to see games in the 70s and 80s.
That's why the lane is not clogged up anymore.
That's right.
Flowing.
It's four out, one in.
Yeah, free flowing.
Free flowing. Yeah, it's a lot of 3-pointers being shot. The ball spacing. The ball spacing is a must.
Yep.
Yeah. They want to see a lot of 3-pointers being shot. James Harden, he one of the main guys, one of the highest 3-point shooting guys in the league. I think he averaged at least 9 attempts a game. Yeah.
I mean, it would be interesting to see Kenyon Martin. And I mean, I'd have to say before Kenyon Martin got hurt, he was probably more athletic than Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah.
Rasheed was he wasn't as athletic, but I mean, he can move now. He could definitely move.
He was a little bit robotic.
Yeah, he looked a little stiff to me sometimes. But he was tall too. He's a real tall dude.
Yeah, he was 6'11".
Yeah, man, he was long.
He get you in that post. You're not blocking his shot. I don't care how tall you is.
Yeah.
I don't care how big you is. He gets you in that post and he fade away on you. You're not blocking his shot.
Yeah. He had a high point of his shot.
Exactly. Exactly, man. And his game could translate to today's game.
I remember Simon Gratz High School, where he's from, came to the Great Florida Shootout in Kissimmee. Kevin, I don't know if you remember that term. I know Gerald knows about the Kissimmee shootout when they used to have it out at Osceola High School for a long time.
Yeah.
It was considered one of the best tournaments in the country at one time.
Hey, hold on, guys. Hey, we got our guy. We got our guy Tracy Jones in the house.
Welcome.
Hey, tell him to unmute.
Can you hear us? Hello.
Yeah, he got his mic on mute.
Correct.
There you go.
You took it back that way.
You gotta unmute.
Hmm?
Hey, the whistle.
It's in the dryer.
What's going
Hey,
on?
what's going on, Mr. Jones?
What's happening? What's going on?
How
Is
we
that
doing?
Homer in the dog? I'm good, Chief. Is that Homer in the dog?
Yeah. Hey, you might be smoking on cigars, boy. There's smoking in there, man. Like
There's
a
no
whole bunch of
home.
mist up in there, bro. What's going on? Hey, fella, this my guy here, man. This one of the guys I always stay in my ear, man. Stay in my ear, bro. Good guy, man. Good dude.
How we doing?
I'm excellent, man. How about you all?
Doing pretty good. Glad to have you tonight.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey,
Welcome to be on here.
He's a connoisseur. He's a connoisseur, man, of the game, man. You know, yeah, how people break, how the boxing guys be breaking down, how to punch and how to do this and strategy and IQ. That's him. So I think he'll be a good addition to the podcast as well. Come in and chime in and give his expertise on things. But
Hey, man, I come where I'm welcome. If I'm welcome, I don't have no problem traveling, man.
oh yeah,
I don't have no problem.
So man, give a little synopsis of who you are and what you've been into and working with the kids and the game and all that, man. Let us know, let the YouTube world know what's up, man. About Tracy Jones.
No, man, no. I got into this game, man, by default. Running midnight basketball, gym, rec centers for 26 years. It started as an outlet for individuals on the weekends to have somewhere to ball. It morphed from just guys coming in playing ball on the weekend to having a number one NBA draft pick. And all of a sudden, guys coming from Volusia County, backside of Polk County, and Hillsborough County coming in because they hearing that there are some good ball players over in Orlando that's playing on the weekend. So it morphed. And as things morphed, ball players numbers increased, coaches started hearing about it. So now all of a sudden you got college coaches coming in. And there have been many guys who have got full rides out of midnight basketball. And I would like to say when Amari was in the 11th grade, 12th grade, and when he found out and when everybody knew he was going to be the top draft pick, he wasn't the top player at that prospective gym that I was running. He wasn't. I would say he was in top 5, but he wasn't the top player. He wasn't. There were several guys.
That's saying a lot right there. That's saying a
No.
lot.
Lynn Bright was one of them.
Lynn Bright, yeah. Lynn
Bright was one of them, but there were several other guys.
Who was it, Gerald?
Lynn Bright.
From what school did he go to?
He went to Jones.
Okay. I'm not
He
familiar
went to
with
Jones. This was back in early
90s
early 2000s.
or 2000. Yeah. Now
Lynn
when
should
go,
Lynn should be 42, 43, 45, something like
Yeah.
that.
where were y'all doing midnight basketball? What gym in Orlando? Out of what gym were y'all doing that at?
I had Dr. Phillips Y and the Smith son.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with Arthur Jackson?
He the one started midnight.
Yeah, you want
That's why I was getting ready to.
He the one started midnight.
Yeah,
And
Arthur. Yeah.
he pulled me aside and, man, what the hell this that you got coaches coming in these gyms? And when I gave him the synopsis, he was like, really? He said, man, this coming from upstairs.
Right.
He said, well, they asked me in the meetings, what's this about coaches coming into the gyms? They said, I have no clue. So he said, I'm getting answers to some clues or asking questions to some clues. And when I told him, he was like, has it gotten like that? Because after Arthur had gotten away from the day-to-day operations of it,
Right.
Big Vince took over. Vince Carter,
Mm-hmm.
he took over. And he knew there was coming
Senior.
because
Yeah.
senior, he knew there was coming because he had come to the gym a couple of times and there were several coaches in there. And I'm talking all levels from D1s to JUCO, mid majors to JUCO. I mean, it put it this way. If you played middle school, you was in the gym next door. If you played high school or college, you was next door. I had two gyms at Dr. Phillips.
Right.
Okay. The younger players played in one gym and the older guys played in the first gym.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it just morphed into something to where it became a full-time job. It became a full-time job, and I don't toot horns, but it came out of passion because I saw you guys say something on a previous task about why guys changed that tradition of going from where they supposed to go to. I have a lot to say about that.
Let it fly, man. Let it fly.
Okay. Traditionally, if guys stayed where they were supposed to go, they wouldn't have gotten to the next level of being able to play and get an education.
High school
I
wise, right?
saw high school wise, I saw firsthand the high school coaches traditionally was getting away from their tradition. Because if a player is busting his behind and getting you into the state, getting you state championship, what is he asking for in return? And you know he can compete on the next level. He has the qualification.
Scholarship.
Athletically, that's
Yeah.
all. That's all they're asking for. But when I hear coaches, not a coach, coaches say that's not their job.
No, that is their
Okay.
job.
No. I've heard that's not their job.
Huh.
Really? So what
Mm-hmm.
is your job? You know, and then when coaches ask for videos, they don't provide.
Right.
So now, what's the next solution? You go an alternative route. You
Move
go an
on.
alternative. You move on and you move on to someone who can assist, help, guide, and give you the impact that you need to get to the next level. Then the coaches found that out. Then they're having some disagreements with the outside help. And
Right.
when the coaches find out that the kid is getting these opportunities and those opportunities, and they're not coming through the coach, now the coach is showing a disdain to the player.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Now,
There was some coaches back, Gerald. I mean, I heard enough. See, back when me and Gerald played in the late '80s in the Metro Conference, you know, Coach Rickman, like at Boone,
mm-hmm,
that was there forever and a day. You know,
mm-hmm.
he kind of kept. I mean,
That's
Willie
Arthur.
Willie.
That's Arthur's Rickman. That's Arthur's Rickman.
Right. I mean, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Arthur Jackson, all those guys
That's
are
his
Boone
Rickman.
guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's why when you said midnight basketball, the first person that come into my mind was Arthur. You know, because he started all that. You know, Coach Rickman was known for keeping his guys. He didn't. I don't think he didn't like a lot of outside hands on any of his kids, for sure. You know, I guess you could sit here and go like, how many of those high school coaches really went out of their way to reach out to schools for kids, for their own kids?
You
You
want to
know.
quit? You want a synopsis on that? Out of 10, 8 did not.
Oh, well, that's the road I was
Eight,
going. I
eight,
was
8 to 9 did not. I know firsthand. 8 to 9
right.
did not, because had they did that, they wouldn't be showing up at midnight.
True.
They would not be showing up at midnight. They wouldn't be calling and saying, "Hey, I need a 1. I need a 2. I need a
Right.
3. I need a 4 or 5. What you have? I know you got some coming through there." They wouldn't be saying that. And I've asked them many times, "Hey, coach, what about the player's coach?" He say, if you can get in touch with him or send him an email or a message, tell him to answer his voice message. Tell him to return call.
Yeah.
You know, he said, I talked to the receptionist more than I've talked with him. I've never spoken with him.
Right.
You know, so, and then, you know, kid hear this, kids find that out, parents find that out. They're losing trust. They're losing trust in the coach. I look at it like this. If a man is losing trust in his wife or his lady, he's going to go in another direction and vice versa.
Right.
But if there's trust and harmony, there's no reason to go seek outside. And that's what a lot of kids had to do. I mean, and first thing you ask the kid is about their academic. And when they provide academics and they're qualified, you know, test wise and grades wise, and you know they can play on the next. I'm gonna put it this way. This was the kid is 30, 31 now. He was one of the top players his junior and senior year. Top players in the state. This kid had no offer. He
What
had
year was
absolute.
this?
He's 31 now, so I'm figuring he was in college 10, 11, 12 years ago.
What high
What's that?
school? What high school is that?
I'd rather not.
Okay, gotcha.
But it's when I say the school, that's gonna give you the answer. Coming out of high, when I
I
say the
already know what
college,
you're talking
when I
about. I
say the
already know what
college,
you're talking about.
when I say the college, you'll know what I'm
Hey,
talking about. He had no offer, but I'm getting a phone call. Okay, and I'm still, and that's why I say, coach, did you call his office? This, that, and the other. Yes. He had no offers. He got one offer, and he started as a freshman. He started as a freshman. Now he was ultra athletic, had self-initiative, this, that, and the other. But after his first 3 games, 4 games, he had to back up because the learning curve was so high on the next level. And we
Right.
had this conversation of, you know, what to expect when it's not high school anymore. but his
Right.
work ethic, he thought would prepare him. And I say it can give you some basics, but it's not going to overly prepare you. I said you can only go so far on your overall game that you're in high school with. Now I say if the coach or coaches work with you, they didn't even have a communication between the two.
Right.
And this was your top player for 2 years. Now, his senior year, he transferred from his high school and went to out on summer run. And they had just won the state 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Cone was the coach out there. And when this kid's high school coach found out, all hell broke loose. Now, and as I said, when a man or woman, when you lose a good person, you realize it when they're gone. He realized it when the kid left. But the kid had some compassion and loyalty for him. And I said, nah, I'm just advising you. Loyalty comes in different forms.
Right.
I said, nah, has he been loyal to you?
Right.
On the surface, he was showing you something, but he was not. He didn't show you something until you left. When you left that house, all of a sudden, he misses you. He wants you back.
Right.
Ultimately, you gave in, you went back. What did the coach do? Went right back. He reverted right back to who he was before. Okay, fast forward. The two high school coaches tried to figure out how did he get to Texas. Know what I'm talking about, J-Bo?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. How did he get to Texas? How is he starting as a freshman? Because they didn't have their handprints on that.
Right.
Had they done their due diligence, that is why, and I talk to parents, and it's just not basketball. I've heard football coaches say this too, and that's probably one reason why Jones is getting the multitude of talent that is getting now, because they are seeing all the kid want is an opportunity, and when kids throughout the state and the city see what their prospective school is sending guys on the next level, it doesn't matter if it's D1 or JUCO. Kids just want an opportunity.
Right.
Kids just want an opportunity. And once you give them that opportunity, other kids that's in Pop Warner, they see this. So they're going to leave the feeder school or the feeder program and go to that high school because they see there may be a better opportunity from me traditionally.
So you
From me
can't.
traditionally.
I don't mean
Go
to
ahead,
cut
say
you
that.
off.
No, go
I
ahead.
don't mean to cut you off, but piggyback off what you're saying. You got programs like Oak Ridge, which is in Orlando. They got out of their roster, their 12-man roster, probably 6 or 7 of them D1 prospects.
We talking basketball, right?
Yeah, basketball. Yes, sir.
Okay. Who
They
said
got 6, 7
who deemed them D1 prospects?
Yeah, that's
Who
what I'm
Oh,
saying.
deems them who deems them D1 prospects?
you got websites like Rivals,
See, that's the problem.
ESPN.
That's the problem. That's the problem. People are deeming something, they don't know the entire body of work. They don't know the entire body of work. And
But I
then when the
mean,
kids get, I understand what you're saying. That's just like, okay, all these stars. And then when the kid get on the next level, he's like a deer in headlights.
Right.
People see, and these parents jump on this relevancy, and they think the kids are there. The kid is not there. He's not there.
I
If
mean,
he
you
has
can't.
to be,
I mean, you
go ahead.
can't. You can't blame it. You can't blame it all on the coach because they got a phenomenal coach over there, at Oak Ridge. You know, he takes those kids, you know, and he shapes and
Hey,
mold them into
hey,
like they his kids.
hey, hey,
Okay,
And he goes beyond the limit to get those kids to get all his players into school.
give me 5 that have been somewhere.
Yeah,
Give me 5 that have been somewhere because I know 3.
Tonio Blakely,
Ho
he
ho ho
played at Oak
ho ho
Ridge. He
ho
played at
ho ho
LSU.
ho. You talking what? 15 years ago?
I'm just naming some players that came
No,
through his program.
I understand that, and I know Tonio personally. I know
Yeah.
Tonio personally. Talked with Tonio 3 days before he went to Chicago. Okay, but again, Tonio was good. Tonio was good. Okay, but he made
he had
it.
a lot of
Okay,
things missing.
but now
He had two things missing.
I got something on both sides. I'm talking about in the last 6 years. In the
Okay.
last 6 years.
Okay. You had on.
Go ahead, I hear you.
Me and Gerald just talking about the other day. We just talking about the other day on.
Did he develop these kids, or is he getting kids that's ready to run out the blocks?
That
Some of them
But see,
transferring in.
no, because that's just like Duke. Krzyzewski don't develop nobody.
No, he doesn't. 'Cause I mean,
Okay,
he got All Americans coming in,
but see, that's the point that I'm just making with you in regards to Oak Ridge coach. Don't
and
get
a lot of
kids
them,
who may
one
be
and
all
done.
okay, but see, that's the problem. They think they want it done because people are giving them that guidance and that advice. Now, they want that check right away. But you got players who, when in lower rounds, undrafted free agents, they get max contracts, but these high draft picks, they flaming
Yeah.
because people are giving them all of these stars before they earned anything. Develop your game.
So to add on what you saying, how you think the NIL deal gonna fare in high school?
Well,
You think that's gonna
put
make
it,
the
put it,
kid
put
hungrier, or that's gonna
no,
make the kid
no.
lazier?
Because you get now, it's gonna make them even worse because out of 10 kids from middle school to high school, they have 0 social skills because everything is in-house. They're not outside. In the last 20 years, when Christmas comes, how empty is the streets? Very. There's no social skills, man. No social skills. So when kids get outside the house, they don't know how to adapt. Everything is on their phones. That is why the education part is falling because everything is on that phone. Now, if they take the phones from the kids, parents gonna have a problem. Why? Why have a problem? Because they're temporarily taking your kid distraction. That's the problem. Everything is coming from home, spilling over into the public. And when I mean the public, you got 0 social skills. So that's going to hinder them from being able to navigate in life. And then when they get in school, everything is on the phone. They don't want to pay attention to what the teacher is giving them. And then when it comes test time, while you ask them a basic question, they don't know how to respond. And it translates as well as into sports. Because you don't have a kid, and I'm just gonna say it, the kid that I'm talking about was DeMarcus Croker.
Marco.
Now, DeMarcus needed a trainer, but he didn't wait on no trainer.
Yeah,
He didn't wait
DeMarcus
on a trainer.
from Jones.
He,
From DeMarcus.
yes, he didn't
Yeah.
wait on no trainer. He didn't
Yeah.
wait on a trainer.
Yeah.
He did not wait on a trainer. And he had a self-initiative because he wanted to excel. Now, and by saying on the college level, I'm gonna say Chris Warren. Now, I put him on a pro-am team. And he was a junior at Miss. And the way Jason Williams and Gilbert Arenas, who I put on the team, they was asking him questions. You would have thought he was in high school still. These college coaches do not develop players. They want guys who can come in helping the program right away. There's no development curves. Zero.
Yep.
There's
All
no
about the
development
protocol
curve.
now, transfer protocol.
But see now, and you saying NIL, Edgewater is on Madden. Edgewater is on Madden. So you know they're getting residuals on that. Edgewater is on 24K. Yeah. So by you asking that NIL, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. And all you have to do is help. You can sponsor a kid and be an NIL if you're willing to pay him.
Yeah,
in
your
high
local
school
business or something like that.
If you see, and a lot of people don't know that can be the NIL can be a way to help sponsor your program. It don't have to be a way that parents are thinking he's getting paid. He's getting paid. It's the program. It's all about the language in the contract.
Right.
Hey man, I don't mean no.
You cooking, man. Cooking, bro. You know what I'm saying? This exposing the game. This is what me and Kev, this what we talk about, man. It's like there's deep layers of this stuff, man.
Well, what was your high school coach? He hated me.
Who that?
He hated me.
Oh, Coach Howard?
He hated me.
Hey, you got me just thinking about that, man. Because I knew that's who you were talking about, man. And me and Brett were talking about how, you know, maybe he stayed a little too long and he got burnt out or whatever. But when I heard that,
he
I'm
didn't
hearing
get burnt out.
saying, "Hey, coach not helping me get nowhere," and this. And I'm like, no, what? You know. But then if I think about it, remember I told you about the deal about me going to the league right out of high school, Brett? Remember that?
Yeah.
That what took me like, damn. You know, he told me say, "Well, hey, you know, I got something to tell you," and I was like, "What's up?" He was like, "Man, I know you're gonna be upset like that." I said, "Man, just tell me." He said, "Man, you know, I was gonna interview you in the draft out of high school your senior year." And I'm like, I'm looking at him like everything just flashed in the pan, like boom. I'm like, well, why you didn't do that? Well, I didn't know I had the authority for that. I said, man, listen, man, my dad, I had a dad, but you was more of a father to me than him.
But now let me ask you, J-Bo, had they done that without you having the proper support and guidance? How about if he would have surrounded you with the proper support and guidance instead of just putting you out there? Because he's putting you in an atmosphere mentally, physically, you weren't ready. You thought you was ready. And that's why I say, just like, and I'm just going to use DeMarcus again as an example. He thought he was ready. His first week, they played North Carolina, Tar Heels, and Texas A&M. He come calling me back, talking about, man, I said, ain't no man. I said, ain't no man. I said, we already talked about this, boy. You thought you was good in high school. You playing against the other five that might be the best in their respective states. And they're upperclassmen. And you just a freshman. I said, Marvel, as we already talked about, along with the coach at Texas, it's gonna be a learning curve. You weak as hell. You athletic. You going on athletic system.
Right.
But once you stay long enough and get developed, it's all about the development. Everybody want a drive-through. Don't nobody want to go inside and wait. and wait for the food to be made. Everybody want it right then. And that is the state of where the NBA is going. It is so watered down. So there ain't no fears in it. There's no fear. Everybody, and in college athletics, period, everybody want that glamour. Everybody want that instant glamour. Don't nobody want to say, well, I want my money on the back end. I want to be able to develop 5 years from now on my second contract. I can get a max deal. Everybody want a max deal from the giddy up. And some of them getting it, but they flaming out. And then you wonder, well, he was an undrafted free agent or he was a lower round draftee. He getting a max deal. He earned it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not throwing an assault on Oak Ridge's program, but I'm a person about development. Don't go and get kids that you're not going to develop. If you want everybody that's Usain Bolt, they the fastest, come on. What is there for you to develop? You just like Phil Jackson.
So let me ask you a question on Mr. Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pertaining this to the college sport, the college coaching on like phenomenon now due to the transfer portal. College coaches are not getting the same types of deals like on their contracts that they used to get 10, 15 years ago. Now college coaches only signing deals from 3 to 4 years. And after 3 years, the fourth year is an option.
I would
They're
too.
not signing 5, 6 year deals no
I,
more.
I would too. But the thing is, in the language, they're signing 3, 4 years with huge buyout.
Right?
With huge buyout. Now, that's just like in the league. You sign 3, 4 years. If you exceed them 3 or 4 years within the 2 years of you being in the game, they go already tear that up and restructure it.
Yeah.
And restructure it because they know somebody else is come knocking at your door.
That's right.
And offering you more.
That's
So
right.
what they'll do, they'll restructure yours.
And reach an extension deal.
I mean, all of that. But what they would do, they will put a larger buyout in your contract because nothing is guaranteed. Because if somebody offering you what Texas A&M, Florida State is offering you, you know, just on a just cause basis, you go jump on it. Look at who was at Texas A&M from Florida State. He got what, $60-some million in a buyout. He ain't got. I mean, he don't have to coach another year. And they still, you know. So, but it's becoming
Don't even try that.
it's becoming a larger business. It's becoming a larger business in the game of football. A much larger business, and it's to the point now. Some kids are rivaling
Hey, hold up,
the
Tracy.
coaches.
Hey, Brett.
Go ahead.
Hey, hit mute.
Yeah. I'm here.
Go ahead, Tracy.
No, it's to the point now. You got some college kids. NIL deals are more than some coaches. You know, that are more than some coaches on a yearly basis. It's becoming a business. It's becoming a business for the player, for the kid. Oh, boy.
I mean, this was actually needed, man, because it's like I always sit and we sit and talk and I didn't seen a lot of kids get drafted. You know, a lot of players that I played with You know, we had all this talent and nobody going nowhere. And then when they did went somewhere, you know, it was junior college. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I know when I heard Coco going to Texas, I was like, man, that's what's up. You know what I mean? But I didn't know the
And
backstory. See, you'll be knowing the backstory. You feel me? So, you know, a lot of the kids, they'll be like, man, I'm trying to go to this big school, but knowing that, you know, you got in your mind, like he said about, you know, getting into the draft. I told you about this, Brett. I said, well, you know, that would have put me in a spotlight on me, but I know I would have had to get NBA ready. You know what
mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So I didn't have this thought process like, yeah, I'm going to the league. I'm going to the league. That's my aspiration to go. But
Mm-hmm.
if he would have did that, it would have put me in another situation where I could have got overseas. If I wouldn't have made it, it would have put a spotlight on me. And then I would have got those people like a Tracy Jones, Joel Berry, and all those people that was like talking to me. You know, I would listen. That's one thing. Now, that's one thing I would do. I would listen. I ain't never, but it was one thing I did do that I regretted. You know, Chucky Daddy came to me real early. He said, "Man, all you gotta do is, man, just let me get you right." And at that time, I was going through. A lot of people didn't know what I was going through mentally. Was it was just family stuff. It wasn't no,
Right,
you
right.
know, stuff out in the streets and stuff like that. You know,
But
when
now,
daddy
now,
leave,
let me
man,
let me,
when
let me
daddy
break
leave,
y'all.
it
Let,
messes
let me
it,
break
it
y'all
messes
for a
you up.
second.
It messes you up, man.
Let me
You
break
know,
y'all for a
and
second. Let me break y'all for a second, J-Bo. Do you remember, was this last year, 2 years ago, when people jumped on Mitchell Wiggins when he was
yeah,
with Golden State?
mhm,
Oh, I mean, they just trashed. They don't know what goes on off the court, off the field. Just
Right,
because you're a pro athlete, you still have a life.
right.
And now, fast forward 2 years later, look what he got to go through. This is why. Just because you all don't know about a person's personal life,
Huh.
y'all think because they're making the type of money they're making, or everything is gravy, they don't go through what an average person go through. They bleed just like we bleed.
Right.
They
Right.
have
They got
issues and
problems just like we do.
yes, yes, yes. And now,
Yeah, for sure.
oh, I mean, my condolences and my this. But where was all of this admiration and support when this man kept having to take time off? The man daddy was going through cancer. But see, that's the part that the public didn't know. That really is not your business. Just tell you for what it is. Because we got jobs. We have to take off from time to time sometimes because we got family. But other people at the job don't know. That's
Huh.
really none of their business. As long as
Exactly.
your supervisor know, so people in the public, they can be something else when they don't control and know the narrative. Go ahead, J-Bo.
yeah. I mean, that sums it up. You know, people just don't know, and then we got to come out and put that face on like nothing ain't going on, and people like, hey man,
Correct.
you don't got a word, you don't got a word in the world, okay, in the world. It's like, man, you just don't know. And with that said, you talking about trusting a female to tell you their business, your business, man. These guys out here, man, they just as worse, you know.
What?
So you know, you think this dude your
What?
friend, you think you confide in him,
What?
and then it's like, man, oh that nigga weak, man.
What?
He weak, man. He don't, man, he got it good, you know. But how do you know I got it good? Because I make it look good. You know what I'm
But hold,
saying?
hold, hold. Look what you just said. Look what you just said. You make it look good.
Yeah,
You make it look
Right.
good. You make it look good. You do not know what the average person goes through, whether they're making very good money, entertainer, athlete, or somebody that just have a regular job. They bleed just like the next person.
Huh.
He-
Look,
what?
look at P Diddy.
Hmm.
look at me.
I mean,
Hey
I mean, I mean,
man,
and no, no, and you're absolutely correct because you figure this time last year, you couldn't have told him that he would be in this type of situation a year later, 6 months later. You couldn't have told him that. You couldn't have told him that. You could not have told him that. You could not. Hey, let me ask y'all: are you all aware of Devon Akun?
Yeah.
Who?
Devon Akun Purcell.
For sale. Yeah. Yeah, I know you're
Okay,
talking about.
okay, okay, okay,
He just
okay.
played out in the Miami Pro Am.
That's where he stayed.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
yeah.
he trained with Remy down there.
Very, very humble young man. Very
Oh
humble
yeah,
young
yeah,
man. And if you say something to him, he'll stop and acknowledge you and listen to you.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
That's what's up.
he has been told, listen to what a person tell you, take it with you, and do your research.
Right,
Because as my mom told me, just because the pastor is up there preaching his word, that don't mean it's the action. You
right,
go home and do your research.
Mm-hmm.
right,
Because what he's saying to you, the next pastor may put it on a different dialect or a different tone, and you may get conflicting understanding. So you go
right,
home and you read it for yourself and put it in an understanding that you can understand. But just take the basics of what he's saying, you know. Yeah, boy, I'm glad you invited me, boy.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Um,
man. I mean, like I say, man. I mean, every time we get together, man, we have a deep conversation, man. So you know,
we
it's
did.
I already know I know what they expect when I talk to Mr. Jones. It ain't gonna be it's not gonna be just a talk. It's gonna be some dropping some Malcolm X.
Been connected with the game. Put it this way, man. Not to no horn. Again, just the passion.
Yeah.
Out at Disney. Out at Disney. And this how deep it goes. Out at Disney at a showcase. This lady approaches me, asking me all kind of questions. I'm another person out here watching the kids. No, you're not. You can't be. I've been over there. I said, yeah, I saw you watching. I said, hell, I saw you when I was walking up.
Mm.
Well, too many people have approached you, parents and kids, and this, that, and the other. Still NCAA compliant. NCAA is still, and I was on the clock. 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 Um, Appalachian State. Appalachian State. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she grew up and said, am I familiar with the compliances, this, that, and the other? So saying that, I've had to educate myself on the NCAA game across the board, across the board. So if a parent or somebody say, "Do you know what you're talking about?" I somewhat do. I somewhat do. I somewhat do. I somewhat do. And I just tell them, "Hey, you got a lot of people who can say this and say they can do that. If they don't know the compliance, you can get on a lot of trouble. You can get them. Be careful of who you're getting your advice from. I leave it right there. You don't have to listen to me. You can listen to the next person, you know. But when you get circumstances that you don't want,
Yeah, man.
so yeah,
It be so many people in these kids' ear,
see,
and
and that's the problem, man. That's the problem. That's the
yeah,
problem. That's the
it, and
problem.
it's really for selfish gain. And a
Yes,
lot of the guys, a lot of the guys, for us being kids, we yearning for that attention. And some people don't
yes,
know how to distinguish that a person really helping you or they really trying to look at your future to put themselves in line. So when you do make it, they give you this. thought process that you gotta help. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
and the thing about it is, you know, how we was raised coming up in the 80s, late 80s and 90s. It was a thing where we had OGs or basically say, listen, man, remember where you come from. And we knew we
Right.
talked up. We knew what he was saying when he said that.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? No, we
Right.
don't owe nobody anything. But
Right.
if somebody help you, like if your parents help, obviously it's natural to when you make it,
Right.
you're gonna make sure your parents and make sure your family good. But
Absolutely.
if sometimes it be those outside people to do the things that sometimes the family don't do.
Correct.
And
Correct.
them the ones
Correct.
and
Correct.
that was in my case, So it just
Bad
be like that.
investment. Bad investment.
Yep.
Like a bad investment.
Right.
Super bad. A super bad investment. But hey, gentlemen, I got to sign off, man. I got to go and get ready for these disasters, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. Yeah, I appreciate you coming through, man. You're gonna
No,
definitely be
no,
one.
no,
Yeah,
Hey,
appreciate you,
no.
Mr.
anytime you want to
Jones.
come through, man.
It, it won't be my last. Trust me. It won't be my last.
Thank you, Mr.
Gentlemen,
Jones. Thank you
appreciate you.
for coming on.
Appreciate you. All right, man.
Yeah,
See you
man.
later, J-Bo.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he was very integral, man, with my growth, especially mentally, man, because he was always in my ear. But it's not like you had these bad kids. You had a lot of guys that was really good, but they was always in trouble, right? And he'll be sitting
Right.
there talking to him, and then you got the guys that's sitting there thinking like, oh man, try to call him out on stuff like that, man. All you trying to do is set yourself up, get some money if I make it. And
Right.
he'll just look at him, and then next thing you know, he don't talk to him no more. And then they be like, well, dang, coach, Mr. John, what's up, man? He said, look, man, I ain't about that,
Mm.
and then you get called out like that in front of people, man. That's a lack of trust, man. I can't trust nobody like that. And then at the end, they wind up coming back saying, "Well, hey, I knew, I made a mistake, this, and that." But you done had plenty of opportunity to come to this man and say, "Hey, you know what? Hey, I made a mistake. I apologize. This, and that." But that's the thing. But like he said, what you said about P Diddy, what Kel said about P Diddy. End of the day, it's like he didn't know from the time from last year to right now that this was coming. Now I know he thought it. I know he knew it was coming, but how it was going to come. That's the thing. That's what makes you more afraid than anything. You know something coming because you did it, right?
Right.
Or you are part of it. But at the same time, you don't know when that not coming. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, but yeah, I knew you were talking about Coach Howard, man. You were talking about the market, and it's like, I mean, I seen it as well. I seen that he was very athletic. Um, and he was very arrogant with it too. And it kind of turned me off from him a little bit. But at the same time, I think when you're in the game of sport, in sports, you got to have a little bit of everything. You got to have a little bit of arrogance, a little bit of especially humble, be humble. But you got to have that arrogance. You got to have that edge when you out there competing. But leave it at the court. Leave it on the field. When you come off that court, when you come off that field, then you need to be you, be yourself. Be that. Show people that you're humble. Show people that
Right.
you know what I'm saying. Not just okay. Well, because before you was this person, that dude or whatever, you was always conversating, or you was always being accessible, or even to the point, you in conversations might be in conversations you ain't got no business being in. But as soon as you get this hype, or as soon as you get this little hype, then it's like, oh well, who are you? Are you looking at this person as you beneath you and all that kind of stuff? That's one thing that I didn't really have to worry about because I never looked at no point like it was beneath me. Now, when it came to the competition part, I still was like, really, bro. My mentality was, I'm like, man, I don't really see nobody really. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to go out there and show it.
Mm-hmm.
You see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? It's about showing it. Now, if you're going to talk it, I'm not saying because you got the people like the Deion Sanders and people that talk, but they go out there and walk. They walk it. So when they talking and walking, you can't say nothing. It's what it is. But that what causes people on the outside that don't have none of that type of talent or none of that type of personality say, "Oh, well, I don't like him because he need to be humble." What makes you think he's not humble? He already came up from humble beginnings.
Right.
So what you mean why he's not humble? That ain't never make sense to me. A poor person, a person that come up in poor situation, a poor environment, they ain't got no choice but to be humble.
That's right. They want to get out of
You
that
know what I'm
situation.
saying? Like that's crazy
Yeah.
to me. But no, you're not supposed to get to a point where when you're on a certain level, then now you start looking down on people. Then now that ain't how it's supposed to go. So when I see
Right.
people like that, yeah, you can get the nice things because you're making the money and stuff like that. But you got to it seems like for people now that makes this money now, they got to work hard to stay humble. So
Right.
this generation, their parents, a lot of parents are working, making sure that they kids are getting this and getting that to the detriment of their growth. So now when they get money, oh well, they nose tooted up too because their parents been showing them same characteristics coming up. Well, look, son, we got this car, we got this house, we got you in this type of school. We no, don't hang around them type of kids. So it's like, nah, man. When we was coming up, and I know Kevin when he was coming up, and I know Brett, you seen it, and you coming up. It don't make no sense because you ain't black. We already put you. We already. You the honorary black boy with us. You already honorary black man with us. You know what I'm saying? We just talk about it though, Brett. You like,
Yeah.
man, Brett cool as hell. You know what I'm saying? Brett didn't bother nobody. Brett didn't really go through the situation like what Scott went through. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he was humble.
But
He was humble.
them talking about DeMarcus.
Yeah.
It brought to me. It brings up a point of us who's in his camp. Like DeMarcus Coker, he didn't have 10 or 15 people pushing for him. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't really know him. I knew him by watching him play, but to me, he was always respectable. He's a smart kid too. He wasn't stupid from what I know. You know. Now I thought Mr. Jones was going to go down a different road there, a different school in Orlando. I ain't going to say it.
Right.
We could talk about that off the live.
Right.
But it also depends on who's in your camp, and who's pushing you and who's speaking for you, because we all know there's been some people we've grown up with. Kevin, where you're from, you might have those people. I know in Orlando, I got a couple of them that I could talk, say, but I think it has to do with who's in your camp too. And, like DeMarcus Coker, he would have been promoted by some other parents that I know of. He might have, but he did good for himself. He went to university. I mean, he got signed by Texas, damn good school, good player, little undersized, super athletic. Mr. Jones didn't touch too much on about the AAU or why these kids. To me,
that what I was getting ready.
I was waiting for him to say a little bit about that, but there's different reasons why a lot of these kids get picked up by who they get picked up by. And I hate to say it, it's not so much the high schools, to me. That's just my opinion. So
Yeah, the high school pretty much. I mean, the AAU pretty much run the game of basketball, man.
right.
You can actually definitely see it. And I know when I came back and I started coaching with y'all guys, I
Right.
started seeing it, and I was like, man, this thing finna get huge. It's finna get huge, man.
Yeah, as soon as they built that, like I've always said, man, when that milk house was coming, I knew we would sit there and talk about it. We were like, man, this is gonna blow up in this area, and sure enough, it did.
Right.
And then I always like to say, the peak of it, they never had a player like Amari Stoudemire come through there, and when he started playing there, man, I mean, every damn coach in the country was showing up there.
Yeah, that's a once in a lifetime
Exactly.
type play. Shoot.
Exactly. And then that kind of started the steamroll that I experienced and saw from summer to summer to summer to summer to summer, where, you know, at one time it was the hottest place in the summer to be. Super Showcase, you know, 1,700 nationals, 1,600 nationals. They're playing in the state-of-the-art facility, Disney World, you know, and then the next thing closest was Vegas. They would come in, they would play Disney, and then they would fly out, and at the end of the summer would go to Vegas. That's the Fab 48 was played out there. That was what it was on the West Coast for the West Coast kids. That was the place to be, was Vegas, you know.
Yeah.
So, but they got a handful of guys that came from the West Coast to play at nationals at Disney. They did. So, but it's interesting. I wanted to ask him what his we'll get a chance maybe again how he thinks the coaching in Orlando compared now to what it was back in the day. I'd be curious. So,
Yeah. Atrocious.
Yeah.
yeah, I could just tell by the way he was talking to Kevin about Oak Ridge. He's not a fan of Oak Ridge. He's not a fan of.
He's
not a fan of
when you brought that up,
Reese is doing a phenomenal job. I mean, record-wise, he's doing an impeccable job. It's just that when you get to state, you run into the Boozer twins, and man, that team loaded. That team. If Oak Ridge don't get them this year, on the Boozer twins, they're gonna win a 4th straight high school championship. 4 straight. And that's going that they're gonna go down like probably the top 5 greatest players in the state of Florida.
Now, my question to that is, Kevin. See, my question to that situation, what you're saying there is, if Reese had no affiliation with the EYBL, would these kids be coming to Oak Ridge like they are?
Of course not. Of course not.
Case closed.
Of course not. That's why you see schools are reaching out to these AAU coaches because they had the pipeline. They had a pipeline to bring the talent in.
What?
Either
hey, I gotta give you.
Awesome.
I gotta give you that, bro.
Either.
What was that? What was that?
Either they the high school coach or they
gotta figure it out. That was the question of the night, though, bro. That was the question of the night right there.
Did I just bust out the question of the night?
Yeah, that was the question of the night right there.
But here, hold on, Kevin. What I want to be on the question of the night, I want to be clear about it. I'm not questioning his coaching. I'm questioning the talent level that keeps coming to the school in the last however long he's been affiliated with.
Yeah, he been there about 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 10 years.
And if we really want to get down to the nitty gritty, and this is why we do these things, and it's interesting because Mr. Jones brought up one of Reese's guys, which was Antonio.
Right.
Which Antonio isn't from Orlando.
Nah, he's from around Sarasota, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I remember when he suited up for Each One Teach One, and not yet gone to Oak Ridge. Next thing I know, he's going to Oak Ridge. But like I said, at the end of the day, I mean, that don't bother me. That's not what I'm questioning. I'm questioning the part about if these schools don't have it. Well, like let's get away from if we want to pinpoint Oak Ridge, you could probably do the same thing with that Columbus team down there in Miami.
Well, you know,
I ain't never heard of them.
That's what
I
I'm
guess
saying.
they probably the school that just came up or whatever.
Well, I know you heard of the former NBA player College Boozer. I know you heard of the former NBA player Jason Richardson.
No, I think what he's talking about is, Kevin, what I think you're talking about, Gerald, is the school.
I'm talking about school, period.
Yeah. See, where we come from, we never ran across any AAU organization or any kids that came out of Christopher Columbus out of Miami. Period.
Yeah, it's like it's in the it's like a.
Well, I know where it is. I know the school. I know
what it is.
It's an educational. It's they're known for education.
Yeah.
And,
They
and,
ain't
and
known
check this out, Brett. And check this
they're
out,
not
Brett.
known for sports,
What
man.
Dale's saying, and you know this too, bro. During that time, you was up there in Tallahassee, and y'all in the Panhandle. How many? It's an effluence. It's like a gang of NBA guys pushing their kids now. That wasn't like that when we
No,
was
I
growing
wouldn't like that because back
up. See
then
what
it
I'm
was
saying?
kind of tough. It's kind of tough to even get to the league. Way tougher than it is now. And Tallahassee, you know, once if a guy do make it to the NBA out of Tallahassee, he's not coming back to Tallahassee for a very long time. Like Charlie Ward just came back to Tallahassee.
Right.
Yeah.
He just came back, and now he's coaching over there at Florida High. You know, he's doing a pretty good job over there. But you know, you don't see NBA future talent players coming to Florida High. You know,
Right.
he pretty much working with the cards that he dealt with over there.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Yeah.
he has good teams. He won a state championship a couple years ago.
Yeah, and he doesn't have
the,
no affiliated with no
but the reason why that's
UIBL.
happening like that, man, that's because of the wave of every AAU.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why it's happening like that. I mean, it was AAU when we was coming up, but it was in its infancy.
Yeah,
You know,
when
it
you
was
had
only
like
two people in the
TCC.
state of Florida that was really that those people,
And I'm sure there's some
those
kids
kids, and going up and down the state. And
that
that was the guy at Team Florida, Team Nike Florida, and Scott.
and I'm sure there's some kids around the state of Florida that are trying to get into these high schools. I mean, there's no doubt about it. If they're affiliated with some Nike EYBL team somehow, some way, they're trying their damnedest to get on that high school team because they think they have a shot to maybe get on that EYBL team.
Right.
And
I mean,
top
that's a no-brainer.
And on top of that, you couldn't move around. When you went to a school, you were stuck. Just like I was in the NBA, the early NBA before the CBA, the second CBA, the second wave after Mike won the championship. That's because every 6 years, every 6 to 8 years, they got to go through this a chance of a lockout. You know what I mean, with the CBA. So it opened everything up. So that opened the wave of why LeBron was able to manipulate what he was doing. It wasn't something that he, I guess, initially wanted to do, but remember, Mike stayed his first 7 years before he got a championship. Before he got a sniff at the championship, he won it after 7 years. So the contract when you first got in the league, from Dr. J, from Dr. J on to him, was 7 years. You was locked in. Only way you could move, you only could be traded. After either you gonna be traded or your contract is up. And after 7 years, they don't want you no more really anyway. Now we got your best. Remember I was telling you about the last part. I was saying like with your prime years start from when you're young up to when you get to college. That's your best ball.
Right.
You get to the league, you're the finished product now. But you're on your way out. That's why the injuries come at a certain point in that contract you sign. Because now you're going harder, you're jumping higher. You know what I'm saying? You're making these type of moves. And then that's where the training comes in at. And you're getting better training, state-of-the-art training. So I do understand why a lot of those guys fall back a little bit and preserve themselves. And a lot of times they say, well, hey, man, I'm sitting out this game. And then why not? Why is it that why can't he choose to sit out a game instead of saying, I'm getting myself ready, prepared, and practice, and then the coach don't play DNP. You got a bunch of DNP. That don't get questioned though. But if he decide and say, hey man, I got a nick, man. He know what his body feeling like. Now with it, how you gonna try to sit there and challenge this person like with Kawhi, right? Okay, everybody's saying, well, you know what? Hey man, you know we paying you all this money, man, and this that man. Listen, y'all told him, y'all told the whole reason why the Spurs didn't win that game because of what Pachula did to him, right?
Yeah, but
Now who am I to say, and who am I to say, hey man, you need to get out there and play while you hurt, man, because we making all this money. That's BS, man. You know what I mean?
And Tony Parker, you know, he added fuel to the fire of why Kawhi left. Because when he came out on air on national TV and Steven Jackson said the same thing on this podcast, that when Tony Parker got hurt, Kawhi ain't say nothing about him getting hurt. But then when Kawhi got hurt, it was rumblings within the team and between Popovich and Tony Parker. And then Tony Parker came out on national TV and said that, I had a similar injury according to what Kawhi Leonard had. And in a couple of weeks, I was fine. I was back playing and everything was okay, questioning whether Kawhi was really hurt. And that kind of made Kawhi upset. Like, that pretty much pushed him out the door. He pretty much after that point he was done with the playing basketball for the San Antonio Spurs. And from there on, the only thing that Kawhi wanted to do is get traded to a contending team, and that's where he got traded to Toronto, and they won the championship that same season. That same season he got traded.
I'll be understanding why these guys playing the same game these owners are playing. You got to give back what you get. I know I got this. I know I got this check in the back pocket. You can't take this away from me, other than stuff I ain't got no business doing off the court. You can't take it away from me because I don't play. You know what I'm saying? Now, I can find you. That's about all I can do. But I can't take that contract from you if, you know what I'm saying, under those circumstances. Now, you got morality clauses and all that kind of stuff like that. So that's one thing you didn't have to worry about with certain players, especially Kawhi. He to himself, he rose in a certain type of circle. He's quiet, stuff like that. But it's like, how can you really question somebody that you've seen them get hurt, and then they tell you, okay, the doctor tell you, hey man, you got this knee injury. Now, obviously, when you get this thing called the ACL, you got 9 months or almost to a year, and then that other injury where you get that Achilles, right? Them the two, or you got a patella injury and stuff like that. So those are lengthy injuries where you got a long recovery time. But now, because of the medicine and everything is getting better, and for its recovery time, now they'll say, hey, this ACL injury, okay, well, instead of 9 months, he'll be ready in 5 months. Or he'll be ready in 6 months. Okay, that could be true. Depends on the person, how they heal, stuff like that, right? Okay, but the NBA, the doctor, the independent doctor that the NBA send you to, they'll say, well, hey, this is what the recovery time is. But then you go to your doctor, get a second opinion. They tell you, no, it's around the same time from the initial time of recovery. So now what happens is they bypass what your doctor's saying, and they push what the NBA doctor's saying. And guess how it gets out? Everybody, well, how this gets out? It gets out through the NBA. Because they pushing that narrative that, you know what, we paying these people this money, they better play. So that's basically that whip on your back, man.
Yeah, no more sitting out games.
Yeah.
No more sitting out games. You get paid them max deals, and you're gonna sit out games when you want to sit out games and come back in the playoffs and play the whole playoffs.
It's
no more of that.
I mean,
because people come there to watch you play. They ain't come there to watch you sit out. Now, if you hurt, okay, if you got a family issue you got to take care of, like a death in the family or something like that, okay, that's understandable. But you just sitting out because you don't want to play back-to-back games, like, come on. MJ ain't do that.
That's what you signed up for. That's what you signed up for. But that's what you did in AAU. How many games we used to play in a day? Right?
Yo,
lot.
Come on, man. Ain't you hear not one person complain?
That's right. They ain't complaining, and they made Jordan made way less than a person like James Harden or LeBron James or even Stephen Curry. Let Jordan would have got that money. What Jordan killed the game in, what killed the game of basketball was the outside money due to endorsements. Jordan made more in endorsements Then LeBron made his own NBA contract just off endorsement.
Yep. But I will say though, Kev and Coach, gotta look at it like this. I was just listening to what his name, Evan Turner, on Gilbert Arenas show. No, on Jeff T show. And he basically said, and this really the reason why a lot of those guys just really like get disenchanted. So that's why I understand why Ben Simmons kind of why he's acting the way he's acting. He said that what his name Elton Brand, right? He said he was talking to Elton Brand and was saying, "Hey man, we finna get ready to play this game 7 against the Celtics when he was with the Pacers. No, he was with the 76. He said, "Yeah, man, we're gonna play the 7. We're gonna play this game 7." Now remember, Evan Turner was one of the first 10 that was drafted at that year or whatever, right? So now Aaron Brand said to him, he said, "Hey, young fella, we got to win. We up to win this game in the books in the bookies for 15-point. We were 50-point dog, right?" And he said, "But we got to win by 15. We got to win by 15 to really win by 1."
Right.
Right? And he said, "What you mean?" He said, man, listen, man, LeBron is LeBron right now, but they were playing against the Celtics. He said LeBron's sitting at the Miami waiting on one of us to be there. Who you think the NBA want to be there?" He said, "Hey, if we win, okay, fine, but really, the game is the Celtics and you think the Heat and the everybody want to see the Heat and the Sixers in the Eastern Conference Final, or the Celtics or the Heat in the Eastern Conference Final."
Right.
And this one they had the big three. Both teams had the big three at the time. So he said, "Damn, man." And he told Elton Brand told him, he said, "Look, man, this ain't how it was when we was coming up, where it was fun. It's entertainment now."
Yeah, entertainment and politics.
Yeah, and people need to understand.
And
That's
what
why I
sells
think why a
tickets?
lot of these guys they get in here, they get the money. You get the money, and it's like you still have this attitude and this youthful attitude that, hey, man, I'm coming to hoop. I'm coming to show my talent. Everybody want to see us do this, that. No, they want to see, like you said earlier, Kel. They want to see high scoring games. They don't want to, because if I go to a Magic game right now, I'm pretty much sleep by the third quarter. I'm not, especially when it comes down to playoffs. They trying to make the playoffs, or they finna get in the playoffs, and they start resting their players. It's like looking at a regular game in the gym.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And but see, the people that be with you, they be all happy because it's like, oh, I'm at an NBA game. Hey, I'd rather watch it on TV than be there. Because if you have been somewhere and you never been somewhere at the same time, it's like, oh, I want to go because it's an NBA game. But when I went to go see the first time I went to go see Mike play, now looking at it on TV, and man, they moving like this. And then when I was sitting there, I just sat there and really watched Mike. Mike was methodical, bro.
Right. Right.
It was methodical. It was like he knew exactly what he was gonna do. He just gonna walk it down, get in this spot. No, not in a hurry, none of that. But now when I start watching on TV, now I'm seeing the same thing now. Because I got a different perspective now. And that's why I try to tell these guys, stop looking at the game thinking when you see a fast player, they gotta have a guy that it's like a what you call it, like when you're in NASCAR, that pace car. That pace car starts the pace.
Right.
Now whatever that's left behind, that's them. Now just think about it in NASCAR. Not everybody gonna win. Not everybody that's in NASCAR gonna win a race. But you got the top 10, the top 15. Them the ones you looking at. You ain't looking at the other 7 damn cars in the behind. You know what I'm saying? And then check this out. If Jeff Gordon win all those championships, right? He messed around and was last in his 50 some cars, and he still wound up winning. Oh, he's a great driver. Man. It's just like boxing, man. People take dives, man. You know what I'm saying? So once you start understanding what you looking at and what you dealing with, then you got to leave the hoopla and all that out of it. So that's why I don't really get engaged in a lot of conversations on about the MJ and LeBron debates and all that kind of stuff. No, we're gonna do that here, but I understand what I'm looking at, and then we try to take the veil off people's eyes that they just looking at the fact that my team lost. My team lost. Man, hell with Florida State. Florida State ain't done enough for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers ain't gonna done enough for me. It's just something to do. But some people take this stuff so seriously, and then when it comes down to what you need to take serious, then you wonder why this happening to you. Or you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, I just want to get that out. I always want to get that off my chest, man. That's some people need to understand. Look at the
Great
game.
point.
Don't look at the game for what you see it is. Look at it for what it is.
Great point.
Yeah, I mean, hell, if half the team started 0-3 in the college football season, they're calling for everybody's head coach to be fired.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. I'm like, man, y'all.
Hey, man.
I tell the fans that y'all are the ones not writing the checks. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy for you to say that fire that dude. You ain't writing that check.
Yeah. They can't fire him. He's $56 million. Yeah, they owe him $56 million. And then if they want to get rid of, they got to pay him half of that for him to think about it. You know what I mean? So it's like,
it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
And you know what I really like about the college football thing now, because they open it up with them 12 teams. Now it's a lot of teams don't have the pressure of being in that top team or
Right.
top 5. You see what I'm saying? And it gives that underdog type thing, But it's like, then so the schedule, it seems like it's going independence where people were playing harder teams. They right into playing their ACC rivals, their ECC, SEC rivals, stuff like that. They playing tougher games, and I see across the board everybody playing tougher games in the beginning, because right now it's easy to play those games when you're playing against nobody and you scoring 62 to nothing, this and that. Okay, I think Miami looking like something now. You know what I'm saying? They kind of got it on both sides of the ball now. Because all they needed was a quarterback, to be honest. They skill positions. The defense was always pretty much there. They just needed a couple players, but sometimes the defense need that pick me up from the offense, man.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They need that offense to say, hey, man, keep us off a couple extra downs, man. A couple extra, stuff like that, so we can, because we gonna do what we gonna do. But at some point, man, you playing against the offense, the other offense gonna punt so many times before they figure out, like, okay, this is what we gotta do. And that's where a lot of teams kind of go to the wayside for us to score for us the game. But yeah, Florida State, it is what it is. They're a good team, but what has caused this situation now, people don't want to talk about, is that NIL.
Yeah, NIL, yeah, man.
Right. Well, what their quarterback just got the NIL deal, but he ain't playing worth the lick.
It's the guys that not getting the money, or they thinking they deserve the money. So now it's a mutiny going on right now.
Yeah,
because of the coach. They already know their coach is up and down. They know their coach believe in them. It ain't the coach. It's the guys warring with each other, because a couple of players coming out saying, hey, man, if you don't want to be here, man, take your ass home.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, if you was that guy to get that money like that, you would have got that money like that.
You would have got it. Don't sit up there and blame on DJ.
Yeah.
And then, DJ did what he had to do. Based off before he got to Florida State. So they gave him that money for him to come over there.
Yep.
And I think that's another problem in today. They don't have guys stepping up and calling people out anymore like they used to be.
Everybody want to be friendly. Man, they ain't none of my business. No, man.
Yeah, it's frowned upon now to do that. Which that particular kid you're bringing up at Florida State was a freshman, and he's calling out guys. About, and that's what they need. They need more of that. But that kind of player to me is, you don't see that anymore. So Don't
So I
see.
say, man, it's like the game that went soft all the way around in all these sports, man. Especially like basketball and football. Come on, man. It's like they're already making the game softer by all this tackling and stuff like that. Which I get. You want to make sure the guys safe or like that. But it's a sport that you really can't gauge the brutality. You know what I'm saying? It's a brutal sport, man. You know what I mean? And it's just uh, I mean, how y'all feel about y'all kids coming up or whatever like that playing football versus basketball?
I mean, I
Now
guess
you mean?
Yeah, just say if you had some little ones right now, and all us, everybody expect when you play the game, your son gonna play the game or your daughter gonna play the game. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So how would you feel like since they how people getting injured and stuff like that, which injuries are part of the game. That's just what it is. You take a chance with your life anytime you go out. Especially
I
boxing.
think that's where I'm at. I just because I'm wired that way. That's how it was back in the day. So, you know, I would have to say if they're going to do that, I got to support them, but be cautious to, you know, I think all that stuff was there, Gerald, maybe back in the day, but it's just, we didn't have all this social media. We didn't have,
Exactly.
we just, I mean, that's what this attains right back to is
Yeah.
just everything in your face now. It's
Yeah.
all in your face. It's all put out there. I mean, there was plenty of people getting hurt, man, in football back in my high school, man. I see those guys show up after a Friday night, come in on Monday morning, and they were all banged up, man, at my high school. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know there was one or two guys on the high school football team that got concussions, still be playing the next Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. It was just a lot more attitude of suck it up, man. Let's go, get up. We got
Yeah,
to get to the
you
next.
want tough. You want tough if you didn't know how to handle the injury. You hurt.
Right.
Right.
You
But
know,
t-
it-
but
it's like
And I tell you this, on the basketball side, guys played hurt all the time back in the day.
all the time.
right.
This sitting out as many man, this shit's crazy, dude.
Load management.
But then again, you got to sit there and you got to think, okay, either I or the team or the organization has got to, I guess they call it protect their investment,
Yeah.
But I guess that's when you're carrying on into the professional side of it, But it is amazing to me how these guys or these teams make these guys sit out all these games, and it is. I mean, maybe when we do get Chucky on, there's somebody that could probably give us a pretty good insight. Well, he's in the league 11, 12 years. I'm sure he's got some stories to
Oh
tell
yeah.
us about what was his experience in the locker rooms on a back-to-back night, or and just give me a little overview of whoever was running with you on Detroit or Boston. He was out there with the Lakers for a year or two. I mean, really, what was being said behind closed doors when people were getting hurt
Yeah.
Right.
compared to now, you know?
Right.
So it seems like they're put in like this automatic slot when you get hurt nowadays.
Right.
I think back in the day, it was more different. So I don't know. I know it's definitely different than how we were brought up. So, that's why I said name me a Kenyon Martin, name me a Rasheed Wallace, name me some of those guys. Go back and look at the mixtape of Sean Kemp. Tell me who's doing that today.
Man, those guys are on
I mean,
are cornerstone type players.
I know for a fact
Kenyon
if you
Martin's still in the league, but he definitely don't play like Kenyon Martin.
had
You
a
know,
Sean Kemp in today's high school game, I mean, some of those kids would probably crap in their pants.
right.
I mean,
today's
and for
game ain't.
me, the physical aspect of guys, you know, I don't see a comparison, and maybe that's just an age thing. They keep saying, "Well, that's your age." There are kids out there. I mean, but not to me, not as plentiful as when we were growing up. I just
Yeah,
don't. I don't see mature. We had a lot more mature guys in Orlando.
yeah,
They were.
yeah.
I mean, Kevin, I don't know about Tallahassee, but I know in Orlando, man, you had people that we played against in high school looked like they were freaking 21, 22 years old, man. I mean, these
We
were
had
some.
Yeah.
we had a couple of them here and there, but not like y'all, because
No,
Orlando.
we had like
Wait.
grown men, man. I mean, these
Mm.
guys
Yeah.
were like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Gerald, you seen, like Torino Walker.
Yeah.
You know how big Torino was, Gerald.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
still ain't seen
Corey
somebody looking
Corey
like him.
Walker. You had Corey Walker. You had Major Wiggins. Them guys look like grown men, man.
They did. They
And 11th and 12th grade, bro.
So it's just, it's a lot different. And then this thing that's thrown around about the Boozer kid, with his accolades, is he considered the best high school basketball ever to come out of our state?
I wouldn't say ever, but he got to be at least.
Well, he's in the top. He's in. Oh
He
yeah,
in the top
with
five.
his
He's in the top
accolades and
5.
what he's done.
Yeah, he in the top
What
5 because they bring back the same team they brought back last year. Is either
the
gonna
only
be
thing,
them.
Kevin, I question about that is
Name the top 5 then. Name top 5. Name 10. Right. Well, name your top 5. Name your top. Both y'all name your top 5. Cause I know what
To
my
come
man
out of
here.
Florida.
Yeah, come out. I know what this man finna say. So come top 5. I'm to my overall.
Oh man, you gotta go. You gotta put Vince and T Mac there. Vince T Mac. I'll say Kenny Borton.
Now,
Are
we going top 5?
I'm about top 5 all around, not just in an era.
Okay, all around.
All around.
But we gotta put Vince. You gotta put T Mac. You gotta put the Boozers. You gotta put the Boozer twins.
Nah, see, I don't put no.
You gotta put the Boozer twins in top 5.
Well, hold on a second now.
They doing it. They ain't doing it.
Whoa, Kevin, hold on. Hold up, brother.
Hey man, come on, bro. The Bulls ain't even nowhere in the top 10, bro.
They in the top 10.
They ain't even in the top 10, bro.
Oh man. And they doing it. And they doing it at They doing it at a big school. Of course they was going down there like 1A, 2A. Of course there'll be no brain that they dominate, but they dominate at the highest level, the 7A.
Okay, hold on a second here. I might give you a smidgen of Boozer, the big Boozer, but definitely not the guard kid. I know about.
Yeah, but he got another year.
I know. I don't give a damn. I know about 15 to 20 other people that would wax him. I'm not kidding you, Kevin. I mean, that Gerald, you know.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what that other part. That's what that other. I mean, I'm not putting that podcast down and like that. But if you're just going by era, bro,
I am
a particular era that you came up in, you lost, man. You lost. You got to look at it from a whole perspective, man. The whole thing from back when you was watching them OGs. So you mean tell me, kid, it's not nobody that you came up with that will put it on the Bulls' head right now.
Okay.
Man, Avery Curry, Gentry.
Okay, then that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. What is your top 5?
The only thing I say about that situation is who's he playing against? See, if I took Boozer and I put him back in the let's say late 80s, early 90s, or mid 90s, he would have to understand them guys that I'd line up and he'd have to go against. Man, you better bring it. I'm telling you, you got now. I'm not saying Kevin he ain't gonna get his, but he's got to understand he's gonna be guarding a boozer every night.
Right.
Because those guys, and I always revert back to the physicality, the physical specimens that these guys were compared to these kids now. I
Right.
mean, and the only and also I hear this thing, the kids jump higher, they're faster. Shit, dude, there was plenty
That's
of
all I
people,
understand,
man.
man. It's like,
There was plenty of people that could get down the court, and there was definitely plenty of them that could get up off the floor. No different than the kids today. No different. No,
Right.
I mean, I
so
just, no different, man. No different, you know.
and they was
And
well, it was more skilled. It was more skilled,
I'm
and
not
not
so sure a
without the
lot of
trainer.
these,
Without the trainer,
I'm not so
the
sure a lot of
so-called
these
trainer.
kids had the dog in them like the people I would put
Yeah,
them against. See, that's the other problem.
yeah.
Gerald,
Now I will say,
where I'm going with that.
I would put Vince in that because Vince was a dog. Vince was a dog in high school.
Well, Vince just
already-
pure, just when he played with us in Team Florida, okay, just pure athleticism alone. He night in and night out when he played AAU for us, he was definitely he'd overmatched that position. Okay. But I think a lot of kids back in those days also were caught in the moment of just watching him do things, you know, and they caught themselves just looking. Well, shit, they caught themselves getting ready to get his nuts hung in their face, you know. But
Sure.
man,
Vince what about 46, 47 now?
and I don't mean to bring it down like that, but I'm just
Hey
keeping it
man,
real,
yeah,
man.
but hey, that was the most intimidating situation, man, to know that somebody gonna put them on your neck like that, man.
Now there was one
gotta
guy.
look-
There was one guy
uh,
that I saw match the intensity. Was the kid that's from New Jersey? We went and played in a tournament at TCC. We were in Tallahassee, and the kid main event, Wally Dixon from New Jersey.
Know you talking about?
He played on the AND1 circuit. They called him main event.
Main event, yeah.
Main event. His name was
Oh.
Wally. He was Wally. His name was Wally Dixon, and he was a grown man. And we beat their team out of New Jersey. We beat them, but let me tell you something. That kid was the same age as Vince, maybe about 2 or 3 inches smaller, but he was talking noise. He didn't care who Vince Carter was. He was running his mouth. He definitely had swagger. He was built like a goddamn Mack truck. He was a big kid. I think he was even bigger muscle wise back in high school than he got it when he got on with that that AND1 tour thing. He was all power though. And he would tell Vince, I remember we played against him. He would tell him, man, go on, do your dunk, because I'm going to do the same thing, you know. And he had a swagger about him. When you played the kids from the city of New York or New Jersey or the Northeast, they didn't care who you were, you know. And he brought it, man. I mean, he brought it, and he put some windmills down. I mean, he was doing his thing, man. And Vince knew who he was, just but from the rankings and everything. I had heard about him, and I knew he was coming to the tournament until I finally got to see him play. And I was like, damn, this kid's legit. I mean, and he, you know, he saw Vince do things. He's like, all right, man. And another guy that I will tell you that kind of did the same thing was Tim Thomas. Thomas.
But
I saw Tim Thomas play several times. We never got to play against them. He was on a group called the Players out of New Jersey. Tim Thomas was a beast.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a beast when he was at where he went to Providence. He went to Villanova, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Thomas in high school was a walking bucket. I mean, and he looked like he was 22 years old and he was in high school. I mean, he was a beast of a player, man, you know. I mean, he was just, you know, and those are guys, you know, like I said, these kids today, you know, I don't see the Boozer kid. Maybe I haven't seen him play enough, I guess. So I can't really say a lot. I haven't seen him play a lot, you know,
Yeah.
but like, you know, like they said, I mean, he's got some damn good accolades, you know, for what he's done. So you got to put him up there. Now his brother, I'm sorry, I got too many guys that I would definitely take over his brother. You know, that's just me, and it has to do with maturity. It has to do with physicalness. You know, but in this era, I guess he's right there next to his brother. You know, I don't know. So
Where you put him at up on towards Doug Edwards?
Who put who?
The Boozer kid up on towards Doug Edwards.
Nah, I wouldn't put him over Doug Edwards.
mm-hmm.
They played two different. Well, no, Doug Edwards. It was just different era. No, Doug Edwards, man, he bigger than Boozer, and you know, Doug Edwards didn't have an outside game. Doug Edwards was like low post,
Yeah,
up
right
on the
around the
basket
basket
type player.
Mm-hmm.
No, Boozer game is more like a more like a wing.
Yeah, he's a hybrid.
He's a hybrid. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
How tall is he? I just seen him.
He's
I just
6'8".
last. Okay, they about the same height.
Now,
Yeah,
now,
They just got different games.
girth wise, Kevin, Boozer's pretty big kid. I've seen Doug up
Yeah,
close.
he's not no small kid. No, I ain't
he
saying
ain't
that,
small
but
now Doug
he's not no
Doug
Doug
was
Edwards.
big, tall, and thin. Big.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call him. I mean, Boozer's more built. His shoulders and, you know, tall. Doug was. We played against Doug. I know what I at Team Florida when he was with Chicky and them down in Miami.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen Doug Edwards. I mean, I know how big he is and stuff. But Doug was skilled. Doug was very skilled, man. Very, you know, and you can say whatever you want to say about Miami Senior High, but they got it done, man. And those kids came out of that school skilled, you know.
Yeah.
Shaky did a hell of a job at that program for a long time.
Right.
So for sure. Getting back to our top 5. See, a lot of the younger generation don't even know that Mitch Richmond is from Florida. He's from Boyd Anderson High School down in Fort Lauderdale. A lot of people didn't even know that. You know,
I didn't.
You know, you got Derek Harper that played for the Knicks. He's from
down there Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Palm Beach.
Eddie Jones, Pompano.
Yeah, Pompano. Yeah, that's right. There where was that on, Jay?
And Eddie Jones has a cousin that we played against. A lot of people don't even know or knew about him. Dude, I thought he was a carbon copy of this guy. Holy shit, he could go. I mean, he could go. But his problem was they said it was the streets.
Right.
You know, he couldn't stay out of the streets. But he had a cousin down there that we played AAU against, and I finally figured out who it was. And they were telling me who he was related to, and I was like, "Damn, this kid right here." And he was about as big as Eddie Jones. He was about the same kind of build, you know. But he could go. He could definitely go, man.
Yeah, they said that Vince Carter brother. They said that he could play, but the streets, you know, he got into the streets, man.
Yeah.
They said he could play. He had a shot to go pro.
And another kid they don't talk about, and I never really hear them bring up a lot when they bring up Vince's name, is Vince's running point guard, TT Tolliver. TT played AAU with us when Vince played. And TT was small, but see, everybody looked at TT as too small. But, man, he could get up off the floor. He could throw the lob like nobody's business because he grew up playing with Vince over there at Mainland. So, you know, he went on to play football at Clemson, I think, at his size. And then he's considered one of the better arena football players ever in Arena Football League. Look him up, TT Tolliver. Hell of a player. hell of a player.
Oh yeah. He played on receiver.
Yeah,
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 TT
light
Talby. I know you're
skin.
talking about. He's Arena Bowl, one Arena
Yeah.
Bowl greats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly.
TT doesn't get his flowers, I think, enough in the high school side,
Right.
because of course of who he was running with there. He was next to the number one player in the country, but it's just interesting how he gets kind of fell through the cracks. But he was a hell of a player. He's one of those kids, that back in those days, did double duty, played football and basketball.
Yeah, he was a quarterback. He was a quarterback for a minute, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an option guy. He could do the option, he could run, he could pass, he could do a little bit of everything, man. He was tough though. He was tough as nails. Tough as nails. So we're still not sure about our top 5.
I'm gonna kill Dick right now, man. I'm gonna kill Dick right now. Kill Dick. Kill David all the newbies.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Kill David all the newbies.
Hey Jay, I'm too old school, man. I can't go with the booty.
Yeah, I can't go.
Sorry. Oh, here's another guy. I don't even know, Kevin, you ever heard of this cat? He Jermaine Walker that played at Pompano Beach Eli. Is that name? Yeah.
I know you're talking about. He was down there on when me and Jay was down there. But
Jermaine?
He was down there spectating, watching.
James.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Dark skinned guy.
Yeah, he was down there. He was down there watching the tournament.
Okay, yeah. Jermaine is considered a legend out of Eli. I mean, yeah, he was tough. I think he ended up signing with Miami, but then he ended up flunking out because of grades, and then he never. He was running the streets even when he was at Eli, from what I know. But he could play. I think he brought his first state championship at Eli, the coach that was there for a long time, Jermaine Walker. That was one of the kids, Gerald, that Scott always was trying to get, but that kid would never come up that far.
Yeah, Jermaine. I know. I can imagine him missing a lot of talent that way.
Yeah, but the kid. He told. I remember the summer before we played in a tournament, and Jermaine was a 10th grader, and he was doing work in this 15 and under. I mean, he was dominating. And Scott, we were there, and Scott was asking him, who is that, and then he started talking to him. He's like, man, you need to come next summer, blah, blah, blah. And he was telling Scott, he was like, man, I don't know if I got a way to get all the way up there. And, and then of course Scott was like, man, I'll come get you.
Oh, yeah. He'll also come get you.
Yeah. And at the time, Jermaine had all gold in his mouth. He was all grilled up. He was another one that looked like he was about 20 some years old. Yeah. Yeah, he was tough. Yeah, I guess you got to put Vince up there. Tracy, I guess you got to put Tracy up there. Now, Kevin, think about this. And I told this to Gerald a couple of weeks ago. Tracy didn't have a huge high school career in our state, though.
No, he didn't.
See, he still, to me, was under the radar in the state of Florida, but he didn't really put his name through high school basketball in the state of Florida. It's when he left here and went to Mount Zion,
Right.
Now, if he would have stayed, I'm assuming he would have done the exact same thing he did at Mount Zion. He would have done at Auburndale, where he came from.
But Auburndale wasn't that good, though.
Yeah, see, out there, there wasn't, at that time, he was out there in the middle of nowhere, and I was hearing stories that the coaches over in Lakeland were trying to get him to leave Auburndale and go to Kathleen, try to go to some of the bigger name schools. I'm sure there was a lot of that going on too, but but he didn't. He didn't cement his name. He's not to me. Through high school basketball in the state of Florida. So do we put his name there? Now as far as career, yeah, probably. But in high school, I think that's a good debate. So I would be interesting to ask that question to some other old heads to see what they would say.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely have a poll. We're gonna definitely have the polls up because I like I said, I'm getting used to this thing, so I'm gonna start putting polls up. Who's the best player of the world, top 10, top 5, whatever, top 50. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I'm getting educated myself right now. But I was gone. I was gone for a good 5-6 years during this time when Florida basketball was really getting up. That was like I could say maybe the last of the Mohicans before the tens came in and things
Right.
got, you know what I mean? So yeah, so I'm a fan of just listening to y'all right now, man. And then on top of that, just knowing that I knew Kel had a sharp. I knew Kel was sharp though, man. But he sharp. He sharp as tips, man. You know what I mean? But it ain't really nobody you throwing at he don't know. You know what I'm saying? And that's impressive, bro. I like that. But see this guy here, Brett. That's why I knew. I said if I do a podcast, I got to get somebody. I know some things, but you got to get the people that was there and
Yeah, I mean,
seen a lot of things.
if you're around it enough, you.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the beauty of AAU back in the day. It brought talent from everywhere, and that's one of the first questions I ask is, even when I met Kevin, where you from? Mr. Jones, where are you from? Because that'll tell me, okay, let's see if he knows who this is, or let's see if he knows who that is, or I know you've got to heard of this person if you're from there. That tells me a lot about somebody.
Yeah, that's what you did to the boys over there in Polk County. So, and he had invited me on. Brett brought me in on it, right? And I'm sitting there the first 5 minutes. It was probably less than that. And I was just kind of lost. You know what I mean? Because I know they talking from. I ain't gonna say just totally lost, but just like it didn't grab my attention because we from different eras.
Yeah,
so
they're in a different. Yeah, and even
different. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie.
You talking about the dude Bacon was one of the best players ever. I'm thinking like Wayne Bacon. Come on, man. Like, okay, we bringing up guys that played when we played. Chris King and Mr. Davis.
Chris
Davis. Dwight Brown out of St. Pete. Come on, man.
Yeah, that guy was scary.
Man, Dwight Brown was on serious, bro.
Boy, he's one of those guys you put in the category of I'll put it on your head.
Yeah. He was that year when St. Pete when St. Pete won. We was there that year.
Yeah.
11th grade year.
Yeah,
they played Lakeland Kathleen, man. That was the game. Ooh, my God.
Yeah, he was one of those guys, and he did it with ease too, man.
Yeah.
Dwight, and there's another boy from that area over there that a lot of people don't talk about, Billy Teal.
Oh yeah, Bill Teal. Oh, that was
Bill Teal was like from what I didn't get to see him play. I don't think maybe he was there. Maybe he was playing in front of me. I didn't know it one time, but that anybody that's from that St. Pete area over there, they said Bill Teal was the truth, man. I mean, he was like a Magic Johnson. He was a kind of a good size player.
Yeah, 6'5".
Yeah, he played at Gibbs. I think he was out of Gibbs. But he got in trouble with the law. He was dealing drugs or something.
It was on some murder. It was on some murder stuff.
Say again?
It was on some murder stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Drugs was involved, but it was, But You know, they had another kid. They had another guy on there named Antoine Smith. He was
Okay.
about 6'6", and he played. He reminded me how he moved. He reminded me of Torreno, but
Oh,
he was just a little bit more fluid. But and he was a lot more. You know, Torreno was 6'6", but he didn't have hella hops. He could dunk. He can do it. But
yeah. No, he didn't have.
this thing was just more. He was more skilled with his dribbling and his IQ. You know,
Right.
he had basically he had the say Greedy Man. Remember Greedy Man?
Yep.
He was like Greedy Man. Well, you would like to see him pass, and like to see him, you know, control the offense because he was controlling the offense from the three and the four.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Now, whether that was by design or either he was just like, "Hey man, just give me the ball here." With Coach Jones talking about, "Let me get the ball." You know what I mean? So, and then you got Eric Atkins. You know, Eric. I'm just trying to figure out. I know Vince was that dude. How you put them? How you compare them two right there, man? For a jumping ability,
Who?
Eric and Vince.
Oh well, I don't. Nah, I've seen. I mean, yeah, I seen Eric.
Hey man,
I seen Eric
Eric,
do some stuff now.
man, look at him. Man, look
Yeah.
at him.
Vince when he was young, when he played with us, yeah, he would do some stuff, man. Yeah, he would do some stuff that you'd be like, holy shit. Excuse my language, But Eric did with power though.
Yeah, that's what made.
Eric
I was going to say that.
Eric
That's what made it.
Eric
Like,
was going at the rim
to
like
be up that high like that and still carry his power.
hmm there, speaking of, there's another guy. Here's another guy that was built like a damn Carl. I don't know if y'all remember a guy or heard of a guy from Boca Ciega, St. Pete, named David White. David White was a beast. He played middle 80s. Went on to play at Florida State when Florida State was just getting good in basketball. He's from Boca Ciega High School. Real good player. Really good player. Really good. Strong. Could get around the floor. Pretty good. But like I said, man, there was talent all over the state, man. All over this state. It's too bad. I always say I wish it was tapped in more. I wish, the coaches would come more. Back in those days, there wasn't really a lot of that going on. They would
Yeah.
come to, the football for sure. Gerald, think about this, and Kevin, where you're from. Think about the number of guys that played football that were also pretty good at basketball. And what if they would have just stuck with basketball? You
Yeah.
know, but it's interesting how it is.
Yeah, I think with that perspective, to piggyback off that, it was a situation, man. We were just trying to get in school, man.
Yeah,
It,
and if you look at football, the numbers, it
yeah,
was like, I'm going to
yeah,
go the football route. Probably it's easier to get me into school with the number of kids on a football team than it is a basketball team.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
exactly.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
But man, this was a good podcast. This was a good session here, man. I like that this show here. We touched on a lot of things. For the outro, what would be your ending part of what we talked about?
Yeah, we got Mr. Jones on tonight. He gave us, he gave it a different spin and made you think, really. Um, and I like his truthfulness. He's very true. He was very truthful, and that's what we like about what we're doing. And I think a lot of the younger generation of kids and parents, because a lot of this is directed at the foundation of these kids, and they're the foundation, the parents. And hopefully this gets us some ears and get people to start listening. And if we get somebody to not change, but just open up a little bit and understand, how things are done. Because it is different than it used to be. I can tell you that. So, but till the next show, my friend. Till the next show.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you, coach.
Yes, sir.
Towards the ending of the show, I'd like to thank everybody who tuned in. The ones we see and the ones we didn't see. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we can keep this thing going. But we definitely need those subscribers. We need those likes so to keep this thing rolling.
Yes, sir.
With that said, everybody have a good night.
All right, fellas.
Peace. Blow the whistle.
Okay.
Hey, all my whistlers. Woo! We out of here.
All right, Jay.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.